Hare Krishna devotees, Dandavat Pranam. Welcome to Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Today we will be playing the recorded class of His Grace Radha Gopinath Das Prabhu from Canto 4, chapter number 30, sloka number 27. I will be playing the recorded class now. Kindly be.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Is the voice is audible enough, Prabhuji, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhu.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namas. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 30, entitled The Activities of the Prachetas, text 27. Rupam Bhagavata Tveta Ashesha Klesha Sanshayam Avishkrutam Nah Klishtanam Kimanyadanukampitam. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Dear Lord, we conditioned souls are always covered by ignorance in the bodily conception of life. We therefore always prefer the miserable conditions of material existence. To deliver us from these miserable conditions, you have advented yourself in this transcendental form. This is evidence of your unlimited causeless mercy upon those of us who are suffering in this way. What then to speak of the devotees to whom you are always so favorably disposed? Purport. When the Lord appears in His original form, He acts to deliver the pious and annihilate the miscreants. Although He annihilates the demons, He nonetheless benefits them. It is said that all living entities who died on the battlefield of Kurukshetra attained their original constitutional position, Swarupa, because they had the chance to see Krishna face to face, riding in the chariot of Arjuna. On the battlefield of Kurukshetra, superficially two things were going on. The demons were being killed and the devotee Arjuna was being protected. However, the results were the same for everyone. Thus it is said that the appearance of the Lord diminishes all kinds of miserable conditions caused by material existence. It's clearly stated in this verse that this form, Ashesha Klesha Sanshayam, is meant to diminish all the miserable conditions experienced in life, not only by the devotees, but by all others. Avishkrutam nah bhutanam, avishkrutam nah klishtanam. The Prachetas identified themselves as common men. Kimanyad anukampitam. The devotees are always favorably accepted by the Lord. The Lord shows all mercy not only to conditioned souls, but also to the devotees who are already liberated due to their devotional service. The form of the Lord as worshipped in the temples is called Archa Vigraha or Archavatar, the worshipable form, the deity incarnation. This facility is offered to neophyte devotees so that they can see the real form of the Lord face to face and offer their respectful obeisances and sacrifices in the form of Archa. Through such facilities, the neophyte gradually invoke their original Krishna consciousness. Deity worship in the form of temple worship is the most valuable benediction given by the Lord to beginners. All neophytes must therefore engage in the worship of the Lord by keeping the Archa Vigraha, Archavatar, at home or in the temple. Rupam Bhagavata. So, the Prachetas very humbly and with a grateful heart are offering beautiful prayers to the Supreme Lord who has mercifully appeared in front of them. And herein they are presenting themselves as suffering souls and in ignorance. Sharira avidya jal. Actually, the whole material existence is everyone here is suffering simply because of this ignorance. Due to this ignorance, we get this material body, which is the source of all miseries. Actually, the soul is eternal, full of knowledge and blissful. But the moment, in ignorance, we identify ourselves with the body, that is the root cause of all the miseries. Because the material world is designed in such a way that it causes klesha. Either potentially it's designed in such a way, specifically designed to experience miseries. And through the senses, through the mind, through intelligence, through the false ego, at different levels, from gross to subtle, invariably we are inflicted again and again. And the whole of all the sufferings, the root cause is this identification. So Prachetas presenting themselves as helpless victims of this ignorance are thanking the Lord that He has appeared. And here it is said that His appearance is only for one purpose. Only one. And that is to show mercy. There is no other reason for Him to come than simply to show mercy to every living entity. Conditioned, unconditioned, paritranaya sadhunam, vinashaya dushkratam, dharma sansthapanarthaya sambhavami yogindi. Whoever is a sadhu, is already liberated, he gives them pleasure and satisfaction by appearing before them. And those who are causing misery, he mercilessly, very mercifully, seemingly mercilessly chops their head off, but very mercifully does this activity to deliver them also. And for all time to come, for all people in the material world, He leaves behind through His words and His activities beautiful pastimes, beautiful names, beautiful remembrance of the form, so that somehow or other, by coming in contact with the name, form, activities, paraphernalia, abode, of his in connection with him, people's misery is removed. So, in every way, his dealings are so merciful. The whole 7th canto, wherein most of which is glorification of Prahlad Maharaj and Hiranyakashipu, etc. It begins with one question actually of Parikshit Maharaj to Shukadeva Goswami. He begins with the question, Samam Priyam Sahrid Brahman. He says, O Brahmana, Parikshit Maharaj is telling Shukadeva Goswami, I have heard that the Lord is Samam, He is impartial, equal to all, and Priyam is very dear to every living entity. Every living entity is also dear to Him. And Suhrid is a well-wisher. Suhridam Sarvabhutanam is a well-wishing friend of every living entity. Sarvabhutanam. So if that is true, how is it that He appeared, took the side of Indra and killed all the demons? He said, this is little contradictory. So if all these three qualities are fact, then why did He take side of someone else and kill someone else? Then He is not Samam, He is impartial. But He is taking partiality, He is taking the side of Indra and killing all the demons. So where is the question of Samam? And Priyam means He is favorably disposed to everyone, He loves everyone. So why He is killing someone? And if He is Suhridam, He is a well-wishing living entity, then why He does something for someone and something else for someone else? So therefore, there has arisen in me a doubt. But I already know that the Supreme Lord is Samoham Sarvabhuteshu Name Dveshyosti Na Priyaha. I have heard this. I am convinced. But still, these activities are giving rise to this doubt. So please, once and for all, remove this doubt. The demon of doubt is, coming up, which is giving me doubt as to the transcendental nature of the Lord. And therefore, please clarify it before it becomes so powerful demon that it kills the devotion to the Lord in my heart. So the demon is successful if they can kill Krishna. Of course, no demon is ever successful. But potentially, if we allow this demon to grow in our heart, they can overwhelm and cause a little doubt. And his doubts, if unanswered, and potentially remain in some corner, can one day overcome. Just like if a thief comes in the middle of the day, then he looks for some tiny corner, dark corner, and hides there. Because it's too much light. So he can't do his job. So he hides somewhere in the corner, where there is dark corner somewhere. And when there is total darkness in the room, then he overpowers. So, Krishna Surya Sama Maya Hai Andhaka. To extend these kind of doubts are there, and we are allowing a darkness of Maya to occupy some corner of our heart, potentially these doubts. Is Krishna really transcendental? Is He really all-loving? Is He really equal to everyone? Is He really well-wishing friend? These doubts arise. And when we are spiritually in association, good association, chanting, sadhana is good, everything, no problem. But sometimes because of sickness, a devotee was mentioning, especially when there is chronic sickness, physical sickness, and we are not in, that leads to automatically laxity in our spiritual sadhana, etc. that time we are very, very receptive, a very, susceptible to these kind of attacks. So these doubts take very big proportion. Whole our life comes in front of us like a video being rewinded. What all I did, what was nice, what was not nice, things like that. So in any of these situations it comes out. So once and for all, he asks, clear this. He says, I have heard that he is a reservoir of all pleasure. Rama is a reservoir of all pleasure. If that is so, why there is impartiality? Why there is partiality to some men, He's a reservoir. Yeah, a reservoir doesn't make difference. Anyone can come and take. It is an unlimited reservoir. So why is partial, giving to some and not giving to some? And secondly, he is completely transcendental. If he is transcendental to material qualities, why is there fear of the demons in him also? And why is there envy that he tries to kill enemy? Because envy and fear arises because of material qualities. It should not be there in the Lord if he is absolutely transcendental. Why is there fear? Prabhupada explains why there is a fear. Because in the material world we are always in need of help. Of some things, external things, we are in need of help. And therefore enemy, we are afraid of enemy who will make us very helpless. Enemy is one who can potentially do that. Therefore we are always scared, afraid that someone can do something to me and I can't do anything. I can't. That is the source of fear. And something more powerful than me, if it takes over, then what will I do? I'll become helpless. So, why is the Lord exhibiting this? Is he fearful? But he must be fearless because there is, he is Atmaram, he is self-satisfied, actually doesn't need any help from anyone. So why is he fearful? He should fear the demons. And envy. Generally, why is there envy? If you go to the root cause, envy comes only when there is a competition. Potentially someone is slightly better than you in some aspect, then there is a cause of envy. Actually, envy is negative appreciation. You are appreciating some quality, but in the wrong person, you feel. And therefore you are envy. The same quality in you would have appreciated, but in someone else is potentially leads to envy. So, the Lord is asamordhva. There is no one equal to him, never can be equal to him in any quality. And aurdhva, no one can be above him. What to speak of? If somebody can't be equal to him, where's the question of above him? So if this is true, why should we be envious of the demons? But why does he take the side then? If he is not envious, why does he take the side and punish them? He kills them. So this is his question. Of course, Parikshit Maharaj is advanced devotee, but through these questions, he is being used by the Lord as an instrument to play his tune, dancing to his tune. So the right tune that Krishna wants to play, he is making Parikshit, Nimitta Matra. So these questions are for us. And at that time, very beautifully, very systematically, Shukadeva Goswami completely annihilates this understanding by saying that absolutely the Lord is equal to everyone. He is not at all impartial. He is not partial. He has no envy. He has no fear. He is actually equal. Then why is he perceived? If it is people's perception, why do they perceive like that? And then he explains why. because of the three modes of material nature. When the living entity comes in the three modes of material nature, then avritam jnanametena, it is covered over. Because of his covering, he sees through that kind of vision, and in that kind of vision, he is seen as a competitor, he is seen as seemingly an envious person, his activities, his reciprocations are seen as envious and partial. It is all due to the perception of the conditioned soul. Actually, Krishna, whether he is in the spiritual world or when he comes to the material world, he is absolutely transcendental. There is no difference in him. He is the same Lord, absolutely spiritual, 100% spiritual. Material influences or material contaminations cannot touch him. Just cannot touch him. Namam karmani limpanti name karma phale spraha itimam yo abhijanati karma bhirna sabhivyate. Namam karmani limpanti. No activity can bind him. Name karma phale spraha. He is not doing some material activity with some expectation of results. Absolutely not. Therefore it is called Leela. Leela means he has just taken the role to act out one particular role. That's all. Janma karma chami divyam evam yoveti tattvataha. So his activities, his birth, everything is absolutely transcendental. That is why he appears. So when he appears, it is untouched by him. And his dealings with everyone is the same, absolutely the same. He comes only to give mercy to everyone. But the way he gives mercy to different people is different because according to their nature, their perception, they see it differently. Just like a teacher, he wants to give the same knowledge to everyone. In fact, he gives the same knowledge to everyone. But someone who is very receptive, someone who is very attentive, someone who systematically takes down everything, notes, and if there is a doubt, immediately after the class he extra goes and says, excuse me, this was not clear, you tell. He extends himself. And somebody who doesn't approach may seem he is partial to that fellow, see. He is giving extra time to that person. No, he is available to anyone. But the mere fact that he has approached him, and therefore he is giving. But someone who is inattentive, who doesn't take the full advantage, that is his misfortune. So similarly, those who are covered over by the mode of passion and ignorance, because of envy, because of lust, because of being the controller, proprietor, they see Krishna as their competitor. And therefore there is envy in their heart. There is trying to lord it over in their heart, lust in their heart. And therefore, Atmavan Pashyate Jagat. Because he has envy, he sees that he is also envy, he is also acting. A thief thinks everyone is a thief. He is suspecting everyone. So similarly, because of this conditioning he actually sees. And therefore, Krishna reciprocates in a way that is merciful to him. Because he won't understand in another language. He has to be given in the same language. But his dealing is the same. Whether he is slapping, just like a mother loves all the children. But that same love for a rebellious child takes the form of slapping him. And the same love for an obedient child takes the form of tapping him on the shoulder and encouraging him. It's actually she loves. But according to different nature, the mercy is exhibited in a different way. The proof is, what is the proof that he is impartial? The result is the same. This is the proof that he is impartial. If we are partial to someone, we do some activity, we want to destroy that person completely and see that that person is eternally suffering. This is the proof that we are partial. We are envious of someone, we want to see them destroyed. But here in the battlefield of Kurukshetra, externally he was taking the side of Arjun, serving him, planning systematically, encouraging him and giving him so many ideas how to kill. And some people were being killed and some people were being protected externally. But it is described in the Bhagavatam, Tathaiva cha anye naraloka vira ya ahave Krishna mukharavindam netre pibanto nayanabhiramam parthastra putam padamapurasya. He says, Tathaiva cha anye naraloka vira, all these naraloka vira, that means all kings on this battlefield of Kurukshetra, there were so many. Ya ahave, on the battlefield of, ahave means on the battlefield, Krishna mukharavindam. Actually, those who were facing Arjun on the battlefield were more fortunate than Arjun, in one sense. Because Arjuna was seeing the back of the Lord, and he was seeing that the people who were trying to go against the Lord. But they were more fortunate because they were seeing Krishna face to face. Ya ahave Krishna mukharavindam. They were seeing netre pibanto. They were drinking actually nectar on the battlefield. Nayana abhiramam. Beautifully, they were drinking the nectar of Krishna's beauty through their eyes. Partha astra putam. But there was also some envy. They were appreciating Krishna's beauty, no doubt. They were appreciating Arjuna's chivalry and archery, no doubt about it. But simultaneously, it was a negative appreciation. They were envious. Why this Krishna has taken their side? Why Arjuna is shooting so nicely? But appreciation was there. But envy, out of envy was there. But then surgery was done by Arjuna to remove that envy part. What did he do? When he shot an arrow, of course, when Arjuna was shooting an arrow, it was as good as Krishna shooting an arrow. Why? Nimitta matra bhava savyasachi. Arjun, on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, simply became an instrument in the hand of Krishna. So whatever Arjun was doing was personally done by Krishna. Because he had no independence. Yes. Mamekam sharanam raja. Sarvadharman parityaja. Go this side. Okay. Shoot here right now. Kill Karna right now. Okay. Bhima, kill Duryodhana right now. Okay. No questions asked. Proper, improper, no question. Kill, kill. He was like a scalpel in the hands of a surgeon. The scalpel doesn't have any independence. He doesn't say, I don't like to cut this. There's blood here. Move me this side. And the surgeon say, okay, sir. Where do you want me to move your... The surgeon is the actual operator. And the scalpel becomes an instrument, nimitta. So therefore the glory is to the surgeon. After the surgery, you don't thank the scalpel. Thank you so much for piercing and removing the tumor. You thank the surgeon. So, Parthastra Putam, when Arjuna was shooting an arrow, that envy was removed. So at the time of death, plus and minus cancel. So what remained was little appreciation for the Lord beauty. All minus things were removed and appreciation was left. And when there is appreciation, then positive transcendence. If there was neutrality and they had died, they would have Brahman realized. But then, Parthastra Putam, there was appreciation and negative part was removed. Envy was removed. So positive appreciation was the last thought in their head, in their heart. And therefore, Padama Purasya. Paramam Padam. They achieved Golok Vrindavan. They achieved the abode of the Lord, Vaikuntha. Because there was appreciation for the Lord. So in this way, because of their covering, they can't appreciate. But the Lord is reciprocating only mercy. In any way the people come in contact with the Lord, through any way, because the Lord is supremely pure, they're getting purified. Shishupal, out of envy, Kamsa out of fear, and so many people out of just casual, in whatever way they were approaching Krishna, because they were approaching Krishna, who is supremely transcendental, absolutely pure, paramam pavitram, they are getting purified. And what is the proof that they are getting purified? The proof of getting purified is, the more they become purified, the less influence of material dualities come in them. This is the proof that a person is advancing. The more a person is advancing in Krishna consciousness, the less he is disturbed by the inflictions of material existence. The less he is tormented by the modes of nature. Initially he learns to tolerate, of course. Beginning he learns to tolerate. Then he learns to, it becomes a second nature almost. And later he learns to see it as a mercy of the Lord, actually. Anukampa. Sushamiksamano vanjana evatma kratam vipagam. Then, because, the more we come to know the Lord, actually, the more we come to know His nature, His qualities, His activities, His intentions of all activities, the more you start loving. And the more you see His hand behind everything. Because you see His hand behind every person's activity, everything, therefore, it doesn't really matter how it comes, in what form it comes. You see the hand of the beloved there. Because of that love for Krishna. And therefore, everything is seen as a mercy. And you thank the Lord for any way the mercy comes in any form. That is the true appreciation. And therefore, the whole goal is to develop love for Krishna. Dormant love within the heart of every living entity. The love is dormant. And therefore, another mercy of the Lord is He appears in the deity form to evoke that love. Just recently, after that Gita course, one person asked this question. He said, you told that Krishna is the supreme controller and, He is all powerful. Then, why does He need the help of the Devatas to run the affairs of the universe? Why is He required? If He is all powerful, He should do it Himself. Then I was trying to explain that no, actually He can manage on His own. He doesn't require anybody's help. He simply breathes out, millions of universes come. If He wants, He can handle it Himself. He doesn't require absolutely anyone's help. But there are some people who want to serve Him in some way. So He allows, okay. Actually what they do is not do properly and create a headache for Him. But because He sees the endeavor, they are trying to purify themselves while helping. Just like sometimes the mother may be making some chapatis, it's getting late, the father has to hurry and the child comes and says, he also wants to help. He is restless, he wants to help. So she says, okay, here is a little dough and little piece of stick for you. You also make. And he make maybe a thick thing and he wants to also put it in the tawa at the same time. She tolerates. And she says, oh, very nice. You eat this chapati now yourself. This can't be given to the father. You eat it. But somehow he has had the joy of serving. She doesn't require, but she tolerates. Similarly, the Lord doesn't require all this help. Sometimes they meddle up also, these demigods. They don't do their job properly, they become puffed up. And Krishna has to correct them by and by. But still He tolerates. So He doesn't require. And the most helpless form that the Lord appears, potentially wanting service, is the deity form. Absolutely helpless. He's just standing there, ready to be bathed. I can't feed myself, you have to feed me. And giving full opportunity, potentially, all opportunity. If you want, you dress me, you bathe me, 1 time a day, 3 times a day, once in a year, whatever you do, but do it, I am ready. It's up to you. And therefore, it's a very merciful incarnation of the Lord, Archavatar. He has descended simply to evoke that love. That's all. How does love come? Even if there is no love, if you do some service, you develop love. Dadati pratigrihnati guhyamakhyati prachati bhungte bhojete chaiva shadvidam priti lakshanam. If you want to develop love, you have to do these 6 exchanges. And what is the first one? Dadati. Give something. Doesn't matter with a desire to get something more. Doesn't matter with grumbling heart. Doesn't matter, but do it. There was once a saintly fellow. So he would go for begging every day. Different houses. But then one fellow would scold him, curse him, and would not give anything. But repeatedly he would go and just Bhavati Bhiksham Dehi. One day this man got so angry, he went inside, he took a pot, he filled up all the ash where they burn to, light up keep the water. They would do that. So he collected ash from all the oven. Instead of throwing in the dustbin, he brought it, and this fellow had put his shawl, so he just threw it and he said, "Here it is, get out." And this fellow started thanking him profusely. "Thank you so much, that you have given me so much today." This man was shocked. He said, "You really mean what you're saying? I gave it to insult you. I gave it to actually hurt you. But you are thanking me with a very grateful heart." He said, "No, I'm actually thanking you from the bottom of my heart. Because today you gave me something. You are learning the art of giving. Doesn't matter with a grumbling heart. But you took the effort to collect it. You could have spat on me and sent me off. But you took the effort to collect it, came all the way near the door, and put it in my shawl. You have begun that." So just by seeing that vision, this man was so inspired. He said, "Wait then, I'll give you something." And he started giving. And when you give, there is a reciprocation. One decides to do something, but for some reason is not able to do, still that thing is taken very seriously by the Lord. He is bhavagrahi janardana. He appreciates that. And therefore, he is ready to stand helplessly for the rest of eternity till someone comes and thinking, "He's so dirty, so much dust has collected. Let me just clean it up." Doesn't matter. But because there is some connection, then immediately reciprocation is there. He finds some happiness. Because indirectly, directly, knowingly, unknowingly, kind of a sukriti is done. Because he's come with the supreme pure, then some service is done. So dadati. And Krishna has to reciprocate. He is a grateful person. Krishna is the most grateful person. You may forget what you did for him, but he will never forget you if he has done anything. So, pratigrihnati, he reciprocates by giving a little more opportunity, or little benefit, whatever it is. Therefore, Prabhupada so many times mentioned neophyte. So, one may wonder, all these great acharyas, they were worshipping the Lord in their archa form. But why is it said that neophytes are encouraged to have deities at home or in temple and worship them? Actually, two kinds of people worship. Different levels of people worship. But their conception is different. A neophyte, a Kanishta Adhikari, worships only the Lord. That's all. He has nothing to do with anyone else. And he does that also with a clear intention. I'm doing you, I expect this with you. Or he has heard out of fear. If you don't, then this disease may not go away. Acha, if you do that, maybe this disease will go away. Hare Krishna, whatever is there, worship. Or out of gain. some way, but at least they start worshipping. So a neophyte may first see only the Lord in a temple, that's all. He has no relationship with anyone else. His relationship is only with the Lord in the temple, only the deity in the temple. He has no other relation with anyone else. That is a Prakrita Bhakta, that's a neophyte devotee. But then, slowly when he starts serving the Lord reciprocates. Pratigrahanati. Dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayanti de. Because of giving, he develops some love. Actually, in giving, when we give something to someone, you are giving a part of yourself. When you give your money, when you give your energy, when you give your some object, it is not actually the object, it is your paraphernalia, it is your energy. Just like Krishna is not different from his energy. In one sense, all of it is yours. It's your house, your property, your money, your time. So you are taking out some time, taking out some money, taking out some endeavor and trying to serve the Krishna. So there is giving, and therefore Krishna reciprocates by that covered love. He just brings it up a little more extra love. So then your love for the deity increases. Little more. And as it increases, the same love manifests in 4 different ways when it is advanced. The more that love is evoked and uncovered, it manifests in love for the Lord and love for those who love Him. Oh, you also love Him? I also love Him. Oh, you are also Hare Krishna? I am also Hare Krishna. Actually, I have nothing to do with you. But do you love the same fellow I love? Do you chant the same mantra I chant? Oh, we are friends. So therefore, you have a little extra separate love than others. They and we. We are all Hare Krishnas, worship the same Lord. It may start with only this particular deity. Initially it may start with this temple only. In this building, whoever comes, I love. Because I don't care about other temples, no. But somewhere it starts, no. It is the same Krishna there also. I say, you are also Hare Krishna, okay. Hare Krishna all over the world are my friends. Then you say, all the Vaishnavas all over the world are my friends. Because actually Krishna in another form is inspiring someone else. But still, that love little expands. You also love him, I also love him. Just like, there is this movie, the video of Tukaram Maharaj. And there, this movie begins with his wife, who is not so very devotional as Tukaram, and she is massaging this buffalo. They have a buffalo, and she is singing song and serving. So nicely she is serving this buffalo. And she says, every day so the daughter says, why are you serving him? He doesn't even give milk. In fact, instead of giving milk, every day he just passes stool and dirties the whole place. So she said, she curses him. She said, keep quiet. This has come from my father's house. And therefore I don't care whether he passes stool, whether he does not give milk, but it has come from my father's house. Understand? And therefore I love my father's house. Whatever comes from there, I love it. So from there, one step ahead they have gone. I love Krishna, and anyone who loves Krishna, I love him also. So Ishware tad adhineshu balisheshu dvishatsu cha prema maitri kripa upekshaya karoti sam madhyama. Then he goes one step ahead. He said, oh, everyone who loves Krishna, I also love them. And love means I want to reciprocate. I will serve them. I will go little extra step to develop relation with them. Prema Maitri. But then you say, oh, you enjoy that love. Actually, there is only 2 wealth in the world. What is real wealth? Giriraj Maharaj was very nicely mentioning, what is real wealth? He said, the only real wealth is natural products and sweet loving relationships. There is no other wealth in this world. Natural products. Only a wealthy person can afford natural product. Natural pure air. We can't afford it. At least in Bombay. You have to pay a lot of money to go somewhere where nature has not been contaminated by Kali to breathe a little air and come back. All can't afford it. Natural water, you have to pay a lot of money. Natural food stuff, which is freely available, Krishna has given, is nature's gift. Nature is Krishna's gift, freely available to everyone. But we have made it so complicated that to get natural product, we have to go all the way to the Himalayas to get mineral water right there in the original source. But it's available everywhere. But we have contaminated it because of our lust, because of our greed. So natural products are gift of Krishna. They are the real wealth. And another wealth is sweet loving relationship. What is the use of having everything in the world but so selfish, so envious, you lock the door and you don't want others to enjoy this? Actually, the more you give, the more you receive. So this sweet loving relationship is the real opulence. Real opulence is natural product and sweet, natural, loving relationship. What is the proof that this is the real wealth? The wealthiest man will have only those things. And who is the wealthiest man? Krishna. Go to his abode, Vrindavan. There are only two things there. Everything is natural. What does he decorate himself with? Peacock feather, naturally available anywhere. He has some minerals, some vanamala, flowers, natural flowers he decorates himself with. Because he understands these are real valuable things, not artificial plastic flowers, however beautiful they may be. And he's always, the whole of Vrindavan is nothing but sweet, loving relationships, loving devotees. This is real opulence. So, the more a devotee starts experiencing love for Krishna, and slowly, oh, you love Krishna? Okay, you also love Krishna, I also love Krishna. So, I love you. That means I will extend myself a little for you. That means little selfless I will become. Otherwise, me and Krishna, or only me first. Then it comes to me and Krishna, because he fulfills my interest. But then slowly it expands to those who also are loving. And once that loving relationship develops, and a person experiences a higher taste of the joy of giving, the joy of revealing one's heart. Otherwise, a big burden. Store it in our heart if you can't reveal it somewhere. But when we can openly reveal our heart, when you are surrounded by enemies, you are miserable. Even though everything is, you may get all facility, but you are miserable because you can't open your heart. You are just keep to yourself. But when you can freely open your heart, that's an opulence. Without any fear of, danger from that. So, guhyama khyati pritchati and bhungte bhojate seva. If someone, you are walking on the street, suddenly some chapati, someone comes and says, here is a cake for you. I'm sure you will not eat it. Why all of a sudden is he giving? I don't even know him. Must be some poison in it. I will eat it and then he will take my everything away. So you won't trust that person. And therefore, there is no reciprocation. So then there is a reciprocation, Maitri, with devotees. Then you experience, then you want to share it with others. You say, okay, let me share it with some who don't have that access, who think they are happy but are actually miserable because of ignorance. They think that this kind of thing is, accumulating is actually happiness. But no. In giving, there is more happiness. Because ultimately this is anyway going to go, but before it goes, if you give, then that is increased opulence. And then, upeksha, you hate Krishna, I hate you. Why? Because I don't want you to spoil my love for Krishna by talking all nonsense and nothing to do with you. That's also a sign of love. An impersonalist fellow says, you blaspheme Krishna, no problem, you are also Krishna, I am also Krishna. He won't take, because there is no love. If you love someone and someone blasphemes the beloved, you can't tolerate. That is a sign of love, actually. If someone tolerates, he is either an impersonalist or he doesn't love. Therefore, it doesn't make a difference to him. So even upeksha, carefully avoiding the association and loving exchanges with those kind of people who are envious of the Lord or who are blasphemous of the Lord, is also a sign of love. But then, when we advance to the Uttama Adhikari platform, when you love Krishna, then you see everything is his own energy. And such a person, even to the most envious person, whatever he does is for the person's benefit. What to speak of Krishna being impartial, Krishna being non-envious, not fearful. Even his devotees, pure devotees of him, have all these qualities. Whatever they do, sometimes they seem to be, just like Prabhupada was very happy when Mr. N died, who was creating so much problem to acquire this Chihu land. So sometimes we feel, was Prabhupada envious of that living entity? Prabhupada himself says, my Guru Maharaj, when he hit that, there was a snake and he told, hit that snake. And he took joy in that, killing of that snake. I was shocked. He says, how is a sadhu supposed to be Sarva Bhutanam, Sirdham Sarva Bhutanam? And why is he happy that the snake is killed? But later he saw in the Srimad Bhagavatam Prahlad Maharaj saying, Modeta sadhurapi vrishchika sarpa hatya. He derives pleasure because in connection with the Lord, Krishna has personally done that. He has purified him and Krishna has intervened, and therefore because of that intervention, that connection with Krishna, that fellow is purified. So that vision is too high. In Bhagavatam, there's one instance where Vasudeva glorifies Krishna. And he says, pure devotees, their dealings, their curse is also a benediction, their blessing is also a benediction. Curse is just like Narad Muni cursed Nalakuvar on Manigriva. But hidden in that curse, potentially was the seed of a blessing. That you will born as trees in Vrindavan, where Krishna will personally deliver you, when they actually repented for that offense. And even that curse was not out of envy, simply out of what will benefit them, really. So in this way, we see that these activities are actually, all these facilities given is simply an opportunity for us to develop that potential love of God that is there within and slowly expand it to devotees, expand it to all the living, at least human beings, expand it to all the living entities in relation with Krishna. And then, Yomam pashyati sarvatra sarvam cha mai pashyati tasyaham na pranashyami sachame na pranashyati. When we achieve perfection, Krishna says also in the Bhagavad Gita, when we approach a guru and learn from him everything, then tadvidhi pranipatena pariprashnena upadekshanti te jnanam jnana yaj gyatva na punarmoham. You will never fall into this moha. Yena bhutani asheshani drakshasi atmani athomai. You will see that actually everything is in me and everything is mine. And in that relationship, when this relation is built, and that is the perfection of life. Hare Krishna. We're a little late. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Thai Gaur Premanandi.
Hare Krishna devotees, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you, Prabhuji, for sharing the wonderful nectar from Srimad Bhagavatam, especially Prabhuji has explained very beautifully about the purpose of Archa Vigraha, especially why the neophyte devotees should be doing the Sri Vigraha Aradhana and how they will gradually get purified and start seeing the things in the right perspective. It was very beautiful narration, and also Prabhuji has explained how Lord is actually impartial to all. Thank you, Prabhuji, for the wonderful class. Devotees may please unmute your line and share any comments or questions, comments you may have. Questions may be answered by the senior devotees.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, how the Lord is impartial or partial, that answer which he gave is very nice, Prabhu. Wonderful, Prabhu.
Yes, Mataji, we have heard it so many times, but every time when we hear, it
Yes.
gives more actually clarity.
Yes.
Any other comments from any other devotees? Okay, if there are no questions, we will end today's class with Vaishnava Pranam. Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripasindho Jayavachan Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Jagat Guru Shila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you, devotees. We will end today's session. Hare Krishna. I'll be ending the Zoom session now.